Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. Nice to have everyone here. My name is Aliu. I lead the Africa ecosystem at the Celo Foundation, and I have great founders here that have been building how some all sorts of solutions on the Celo protocol for the past couple of years and months. So it will really be great to hear from them and know about what they have really been building for the world, because I know majority of them are actually building for the world. The Celo mission is to build for the world. So we are going to be hearing from them on some of the ways they have been making impactful, meaningful solutions for the world. I would like to start with Lucas, right?
Hey guys, how are you? Well, I'm the CEO and founder of Bitfy. Bitfy is a self-custodial wallet, so a Web3 wallet that allow you in two different verticals to use your crypto. As an investment, we allow you to buy, sell, swap, and copy some other user strategy in a self-custodial way. So just like eToro, but you're actually sending and receiving crypto back. So you can copy some other user portfolio. And at the payment side, we allow you to use at literally any merchant in the country. We've had a partnership in the past that was with Celo, which is the major payment processor. Right now, we are connected directly to the traditional financial system. So we allow you to use your crypto at 98% of the country. So you can go to a merchant and scan a QR code at any POS machine, point of sale machine, and you can pay directly using your crypto there. And you can pay bank slips, you can do off-ramp too, so to your bank account. And as long as we are a payment institution in Brazil, we're allowing you to send money to someone else's bank account. So if you're in Brazil with your crypto, you don't even need to have a bank account.
Wow, that's fascinating. Yeah, Moses.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Moses Adeniji, and I am a co-founder of Paychant. So what we do at Paychant is we are a cryptocurrency payment gateway. We provide an API for e-commerce websites, in Africa to accept digital currency for online payment, and also we take it further for merchants in Africa who don't have a website. We provide a storefront similar to Shopify, for them to start selling online without having an actual website. So we have a functionality on our website whereby for merchants who don't who can't afford to host a website, we provide them with these tools to generate a storefront, and start selling their product online. So I would say we are like the Stripe for African merchants to accept cryptocurrency payments.
Interesting. Lucas? Oh, Victor, rather. Sorry.
My name is Victor. And a few years back, I was a bit struck with the idea when I was. Well, a few years back, I was a bit struck with the idea that acquiring actually cost a lot. I was helping my mom to set up a small business. And first time when she wanted to accept credit cards, I realized that a merchant has to pay up to 3 and sometimes up to 4% for acquiring from the turnover. So I said, well, that can be good and that can be real, because what it is actually, we're sending bits and bytes across. So we're actually creating a database entry somewhere, right? So why the heck should I pay that much for that? That has made us think how we can use and leverage blockchain and Web3 actually to offer a better solution. That's why we created a card. I have it here. This one is the Celo card, right? A card is a non-custodial wallet, right? So it's fully self-custodied Web3 wallet that also allows you a payment functionality, not only traditional way, sending to address, but actually with a point-of-sales device, right?
Oh.
So I can do a quick demo later on. I probably need 2 hands for that, or you'll help me with that. But that's what we built. We built technology for each and everyone. We built technology that everyone should be able to use. And I've tested this card with my 1-year-old son, who was able to transact, and with my 92-year-old grandfather, who was also able to transact. Right? So that's something that we're very passionate about. We think that technology and product should be easy. Right? Everyone should be able to use them regardless of their education, regardless of their identity, et cetera, et cetera. And that should be able to be done globally.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yesterday Victor was showing me the demo of this solution, and I was really fascinated about how it really just went on seamlessly. So it's a really good solution you're building. Great
Thanks.
job.
Thanks.
Before we move on, I would like you to know that you have opportunities to ask questions at the end of this panel, so you should prepare well-grounded questions for them. I would like to start with you, Lucas. I understand that payment is really fragmented right now around the world. So how have you really been able to build, a very great solution, especially for crypto, looking at the fact that, crypto is not really fully adopted everywhere in the world. How have you really been able to build a well-grounded solution that people are using across the world, or sorry, in the country, or in your, major markets that you are currently focusing on?
Yeah, we're in Brazil, so our main users are in Brazil. And what I always believed is it needs to be simple. You need to solve the way in steps. So I wholeheartedly believe that everyone is going to use crypto as money in a short period of time, like 10 years. But this is not what is happening right now. People still have money, they use fiat for paying goods and services. So we can say, yeah, use crypto, and you need to understand what is a full node or an RPC protocol, what is a hash or a transaction. Transaction is hard for Brazilians, transaction. So you need to develop something that is simple enough for people to use in day-by-day lives. So you need to connect them to what already exists. So right now, Brazil have a giant payment system. So don't put everything on trash. Put crypto and use this in the background. Make it seamless, frictionless. So we've integrated to the traditional payment system, and we know that when a user do a payment, the merchant do not want crypto. He want fiat currency. So, and he already have a POS machine. So we don't want to put another POS machine there. How can we connect to the traditional financial system, solving the problem, allowing the user to use crypto and the merchant in receiving in local currency without having another machine spending more money on that? So we've developed a way to solve the problem about handling what is the crypto and what is the fiat. So when you pay in a Celo POS machine, which is the major payment processor of the country, you're paying using your crypto because we are a self-custodial wallet, so you own your keys, it's a crypto. You do not have a fiat there. But we are receiving this, we are selling this crypto in real time, and we are issuing a card, putting money on this card, doing this transaction via the traditional way, so that the user is paying using crypto, and the merchant is receiving in the same contract with the same POS machine company. So it took a few years, but this is how it developed.
And this doesn't really go against the regulation or anything, having to work with regulated companies.
Yeah, this is important. We've understood that as a payment product, we should be not a technology company. So right now in Brazil, we are a payment institution as a wallet, which is pretty different. But it allows us to issue cards and do transactions for our customers, what we've been doing.
Interesting. Moses, what's the view on that?
Well, I think same is our approach at Paychant. We are trying to like make everything more simple, for merchants, to start, accepting cryptocurrency payments, because we believe that the current situation around cryptocurrency ecosystem is the UX is a bit difficult to understand. So the approach we use in this case is that we for a merchant who is willing to accept cryptocurrency payments on our platform, we try to put all the blockchain stuff at the back end, and we just we ask just for their bank account. So imagine a merchant signing up on Paychant, once we KYC them, and we just ask for their bank account to be linked, to their, like online store on Paychant. So, and in that case, we provide a checkout, for them with just a simple HTML snippet for a merchant who has a website. So we provide them with a simple HTML snippet to, like, plug into their platform, and generate, this pops up this checkout whereby Celo dollar, is included as one of the payment currency. Then from someone who is paying, maybe from a Valora wallet, and just visit the e-commerce website, and like scan the QR code, like to make payment, for the item they are purchasing. And in the back end, we try to, like, do this conversion from CUSD to, like, local currency, which is the Nigerian naira. So for every payment that is paid on the e-commerce store for the merchant, it's automatically converted to local currency, and it is settled to the local bank account of the merchant.
So you literally do off-ramp for this merchant as well, while you receive the cryptocurrencies.
Exactly. I think for a typical business in Nigeria, I don't think they don't care about cryptocurrency. They don't care about digital currency. They just want their money in their bank account, but they want to, like, leverage this technology because of the booming and the adoption of crypto usage in Africa. So we try to, like, make it easy for them to, like, just bring your bank account. You don't have to have any knowledge about how cryptocurrency works. We do everything for you at the back end.
And doing that off-ramp has not really got you into trouble with the central bank?
Well, no, I don't think so, because we have local providers. We are able to, like, maneuver this regulatory hurdle using local providers in Nigeria, which is a peer-to-peer type of system.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, thanks. Victor?
Sure. I think we all agree, all four of us, and probably a lot of people in this room agree that simplicity and convenience is the key, right? It has to be simple, it has to be convenient. That's the key. Mm-hmm. But I would like to challenge a few ideas. The first idea that I would like to challenge is actually the idea of money, and the idea that the merchant wants fiat. I think the merchant wants a means of payment that is easy to transact with. And if we think about money, so money is a unit of account, unit of exchange, and store of value. So he needs something that fulfills all three functions. If I look at fiat money, it can be convenient, yes, but it can be also super inconvenient in many countries and in many use cases as well, right? Even if I look at the well-established infrastructure in Europe, so like in Germany or Switzerland, you have to pay negative interest rate. So not only I'm getting ripped off as a small merchant on acquiring, where I pay 3-4% on acquiring, but I'm also getting ripped off on negative interest rate on my bank account. So is there a way to offer a better service and better? Yeah. So would it be interesting to not pay less on acquiring, but maybe also have other opportunities, staking, DeFi integration, etc., or yield programs on my crypto, on my stablecoin, as long as it is safe? Yes, definitely. I will not pay 100% of my bills with crypto for now, but 10% of it, 20% of it, yes. So I think that's one of the ways how we can get adoption. The second thing, the second idea that we would like to challenge is actually regulation and compliance. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm a lawyer by background, I'm certified IMO officer in Switzerland, Germany, and the US, and I run 2 regulated entities. So I run a regulated custodian in Germany and I run the regulated asset manager in Switzerland. So regulation is important, but if you are a regulated entity, and you know this as well, we have a lot of limitations, right? How can I onboard a client that doesn't have an ID? Not possible. How should I do a KYC on a client that doesn't have a utility bill? Not possible. So we exclude a huge number of people from the financial system just because they may be less privileged or less fortunate to live in a country which haven't issued them the ID, or they've lost it for one reason or another. So for me, technology is a tool to bridge that. And the non-custodial wallets, and there have been some criticism in Europe recently, is one of the ways how you can include this population into transacting, how you can give them a way to feel, dignity, to feel part of the society again, and actually transact and make their decisions for their own life. That's why I think we could leverage the technology and the tools that we're building to include this part of the society, to make them part of the blockchain ecosystem. And yes, it should be simple and convenient for all of them. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, interesting. I come from an emerging market. I live all my life in Nigeria. So I usually think like a Nigerian. When I'm looking at a solution, I am looking at it in a way that how would, an average man who really doesn't, have an education, or who doesn't have access to smartphones, or who really doesn't have all these, big things that someone that lives in the city, just like me, have access to. How can these kind of people be included in, the crypto world that we are building to kind of like have a financial inclusion for everyone? So I know that Lucas and Moses are kind of like focusing on emerging market, looking at, the target market for your solution. So how has this been so far? What are the kind of challenges you have faced making payment accessible through crypto for people from in emerging markets? I know that your solution is also, kind of like global, but of course, these two people kind of like breathing directly from emerging markets. So what are your views so far? What are the kind of challenges you have faced so far breathing for emerging markets?
Yeah, well, I will start. So for us, the main thing was the QAC process. So QAC process require ID and require, like, for instance, bank account. So you can buy crypto if you have a bank account on your name. Bro, people can not have a bank account. So how to allow them to buy crypto in a regulated way without it? So we've created multiple types of cash-in options. So you can buy crypto with your credit card, but if you don't, you can pay a bank slip. So we sent you crypto. It took 1 day. It's not the best option, but you can do that. And you can send or receive from any other people that may have a bank account for you. So you can create this kind of different ways for the user to cash in money and to have access to this environment. So the QAC is a problem. The need of a bank account was a problem that we solved in these different ways of cashing. But it's always something that keeps coming back because you cannot buy more than a specific amount of money using this way because it may allow some kind of money laundering or something like it. And you know the guy, you know the person that is doing that, but there's no way. So it is a problem. We've been facing this and trying to give to the user in multiple ways for solving this problem, but it is a problem. There's no way to solve it doing something.
Interesting. Moses?
Well, I think for us at Paychant, I think the main challenges we faced, when we first started Paychant was like, it was with our API because the API was a bit, complicated for a typical, e-commerce, merchant, in Nigeria, because we were trying to replicate what Stripe was doing, with the API in the US, and after doing something of such, and it's just like a wasted effort for us because we got a lot of complaints from our merchant that it's very complex for them to plug into our API integration. So then we go back to work and we find a way to make it more simple, because what we could discover in Africa was that I think simplicity is like the key in Africa for everything you are doing. You have to make it very simple. Your UI has to be simple. Your integration has to be very simple. So we have to go back to work and we try to come up with what we call a payment button. So and with that we try to do that with a simple payment snippet, which is an HTML snippet. So we configure the integration in a way whereby enterprise merchants or e-commerce merchant can just easily copy a simple HTML snippet on the website, on the e-commerce on the merchant dashboard, and add it to their e-commerce platform. Then the checkout to accept cryptocurrency payment pops up.
Okay, so that challenges is no more now.
Yes, I think it's no more. Yes, because we have been able to a lot of merchants have been able to find this very simple to start getting crypto payments.
All right, that's great. Victor?
Well, I think one of that what we learned, one of the things that you should be aware of, you should separate the product from the technology, right? So people don't use technology. blockchain, all that, private keys, all black magic that happens in the back should stay in the back. So we should not overwhelm the user with all that, right? So, as you rightfully mentioned, and that's a problem of biggest part of our society, yes, we are fortunate enough, lucky enough to have smartphones, but many don't. Even in developed countries, Switzerland have a smartphone penetration rate of 80%, which is a lot, but you still have 20% left out. My grandfather, who's 92, he doesn't want to have a smartphone. We tried to convince him for several years he doesn't want to have a smartphone, right? Because he used to his old phone. You can't convince him. India, 40% of population have smartphones. 60 left out of a huge market. And I would assume that in Africa that the rates are similar, right? So if we're really building an inclusive payment method, we have to think a bit different. We really have to think about people, not about the ones who are fortunate enough to have one, but also about those who are not fortunate enough to have one, right? So that was one of the reasons why we stick to a card as a form factor, because a card is something that everyone understands, right? You don't need electricity, you don't need internet connection, you just need to have a card. And you rightfully mentioned, you also don't need a specific POS device, so every smartphone can be turned to a POS device, right? So I can have a cheap, as a merchant, as a cheap Android-based phone with NFC, and I'm able to accept payments, right? So that's I think form factors are important. Simplicity is important, but also, once you start to convince the consumer and try to teach him a new way to transact, you're almost lost. I would even say that you should try to reverse that and say, okay, what does consumer already know, right? What's the pattern he knows, what everyone knows? And try to adapt your technology and your knowledge and every magic that you do into that, not other way around. And then maybe we can slowly teach them. But again, they don't want to pay with crypto, they just want to transact, right? In a secure, simple, and efficient manner.
Interesting. Yeah, this question is really more about what our mission is at Celo, building for everyone, including everyone, mobile first. So what would you say, how would you discuss or describe your project in respect to this mission of, Celo, of inclusiveness for everyone? How would you describe your project in that way? Lucas?
Yeah, okay. Well, in an inclusive way, actually, I think that the Web3 wallets are the most inclusive thing ever created, because we can allow any kind of project, such as Impact Market, for instance, to have a way to give to the end user what they want. So all of these projects, like Impact Market or any other UBI or any other gateway to connect some kind of finance product that is available on other countries to people in Brazil, for instance, they need a self-custodial wallet. So there's no product that allow more inclusion than that, on my way of thinking. So we used to say that Bitfy and any other Web3 wallets are the hub of communication to the DeFi. So we used to say that it is the browser of this internet. So you want to go through blockchain, you need to have a self-custodial wallet. So you need to be connected in a protocol level to all of these blockchains. They all offer many different products like peer-to-peer lending, like UBI products and stuff like this. You need to have a self-custodial wallet, and it needs to be simple. So we want to be simple and convenient for all of these DeFi products.
Okay, great. Moses?
So I think for that, I would have to cite a case, with our pilot with Celo in the Philippines. So we had a pilot with Celo in the Philippines last year, whereby we enable local businesses who are selling woven to bring their business online, and these are people who don't have a computer or a laptop, so just their mobile phone. So with our e-commerce platform, these people were able to generate a storefront on the Paychant platform, and start selling their product with their mobile phone to the US. by taking, CUSD as a payment method. So I think that enables them to just with their phone, they could just easily sign up on the platform, we KYC them and they can just generate this storefront. What they will be paying for using, Shopify, we make it very free to them, and it's mobile friendly. So it enables them to start, it brings their business online and also enables them to sell globally while accepting, CUSD, as a payment currency from all over the world.
So literally, Paychant has entered the Philippine market.
Yes, I would say the pilot went so well, but I think we are going to be stepping more deeper into the market, maybe during the third quarter of the year. Yes.
That's huge. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Victor, up to you.
So when we first met with Celo team, I really liked the mission and the vision, right? Because it really corresponds and relates to something that we're building. So we're building products for each and everyone, right? We focus on convenience, because that's an important factor. We focus on security, but we take care of the security for the user. We've done it all well with that. When you look at a lot of products out there, also at a lot of other protocols and a lot of events that happen, you see a lot of people who want to make money fast, ideally. And you know that in crypto, and crypto has rightfully received a lot of criticism for that, for the whole pump and dump and all that. Also, when I look at a lot of solutions and compare them with the traditional financial industry, I may say crypto is not yet that efficient as it should be. If I take 3% on and off ramp, how am I better? I'm not. That's why we really like the vision that Ponto yesterday shared, with 5 basis points. Yes, then you can become competitive. So I guess all of us, we have to do better in building products that are much, much more efficient, 10 times efficient as the traditional financial industry. And we also should build products that are competitive with the traditional finance, but also can include the ones who are left out, right, by the traditional finance. And that's why something that we've built is just a piece of a puzzle. But it's not about us. It's actually about everyone. So we're super happy to enable you and your use case, and then give the card to the users that in Nigeria or in Brazil, and give you the full white label infrastructure, right, to enable those ones who are left out to transact and to be part of the puzzle. Because I think that's one of the greatest achievements of this industry so far, and of the mindset that people are having in this kind of open source community, that this is so huge. No one has it all, right? We all have to see how we plug it into each other to enable the seamless user experience. So, that's kind of my call to action to everyone in this room, and also everyone who's listening to us online, et cetera, et cetera. Let's work together to really solve those challenges for all those who are left out, and for all those who actually suffer from the traditional financial industry. And let's also include them as well. Banks are not bad by definition. They're just terrible in technology, the majority of them. So that's why our call to action to them is say, hey, we can compete or we can cooperate, and we're open for both. But we will not wait for you until you will solve all your legacy issues, because we have to move ahead, right? The train is moving, and you can jump on it or not, but it's up to you. But we're open for both.
Okay, that's nice. So while you are all putting questions together, please try as much as possible to make it well-grounded for them, because I know they are fully here for it. So I have one last question for you, and it's really about what particular thing are you planning to, maybe launch or maybe breed, or whatever uniqueness of things that you're trying to do with your product that you are very, very proud of and you are looking forward to share with us?
Well, I think for us, we have been getting a lot of requests from our merchants, they are looking to use Paychant to accept cryptocurrency payments and also accept local currency payments. So they won't need to use the traditional payment gateway anymore. So, and we have been working to add a local payment method onto the platform as well. So for a user who don't have, maybe Celo dollar, wallet, they can be easily to like pay with their local bank transfer on the Paychant checkout. So we have been working to add this into the Paychant, gateway, so that it's going to be like a unified payment, gateway whereby users can pay with maybe mobile money in Kenya, and also users who have Celo dollar can pay with Celo dollar. So it enables a merchant to like just use one API to like accept local payment methods and also cryptocurrency.
So you're going to have fiat and crypto at the point.
Exactly.
And you think it would not cause a conflict of interest where merchants would just feel like, oh, fiat is enough?
Well, I think merchants would love to like accept as much as possible like payment methods on their platform. So now what we are doing in this sense is that we are routing the fiat through a digital currency at the back end. So the user who is paying with maybe mobile money is actually buying CUSD at the back end. So like settle the
okay, so
transaction.
literally you will facilitate the transaction through crypto, but
Exactly.
you take it in fiat.
Exactly.
That's really exciting.
Exactly.
You are killing it. Okay, Lucas, do you want to go now?
Yeah, well, we've been developing Bitfy in the past 7 years. So we've developed everything from scratch. So we have our own nodes, we have our own wallet services like custodial services, and we've developed our own on and off ramp with many different exchanges, centralized and decentralized exchanges. And we did this all for Bitfy. But we truly believe that everything we built is the god of the company. So we are launching in the next quarter all of our services on GitHub. So Bitfy will be open source on GitHub, that anyone can use everything that we've developed using our technology to support that. So if you have your wallet, you can use our own nodes. If you have an on and off ramp, you can connect us and provide on and off ramp in Brazil. And if you're a fintech that would like to have crypto services inside, you can connect to our APIs and provide this in a custodial or a non-custodial way, and it's everything open source.
So everything is currently open source?
Yeah.
Or you're just planning to launch it?
We're going to launch this in the next quarter, everything open source, all of the layers, so you can choose whatever you want.
Wow, that's truly the inclusive word we are talking about. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Victor?
So we have this card, right? So the card can, it's a non-custodial wallet, it can store crypto. What obviously the card can also do is to transact with that, right? So as easy as tap and pay. That's the experience that all of us know, right? So what I just did, I just settled a blockchain transaction. Here it is. You can scan your QR code, and you will see the transaction live on the Celo Explorer. What we want to do next, and that's what I'm really passionate about, is actually to offer DeFi integrations and work with DeFi products, right? So I have a card that can store digital assets, that can transact with that, but that can also earn money with daily settlement, etc. So I think this is super powerful because, again, the card as a form factor is super inclusive, it's robust, etc., etc. But then, with UBI, etc., and other partners, we can actually also give something that will not only able to transact and pay, but also earn money, right? I think that is super powerful. So that's why we're actually looking for partners to offer that, in the most inclusive way.
Wow, yeah. That's really very great one.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, okay, I think it's back to the audience now. If you have any questions for my, super amazing panel, I think we would like to take that now. Nice.
Hello, this is a question more focused for Victor. You showed this amazing demo right now that you're paying with the card that is connected to the Celo network. My question is, during this payment, since this card will be attached to at the very end a wallet for the payer, does your system have the ability to check on some KYC credentials in order to perform this payment? And these credentials, then it's shown to to the POS system that it's possible to perform the payment or not?
So, yes. We can do both, right? We can do a custodial infrastructure and fully non-custodial. So a centralized and decentralized infrastructure. We can do both from the technology perspective, but also from the service perspective. I think that's something that we should really separate, because if you go into decentralized infrastructure, unhosted wallets, then you actually have to stick to that paradigm. Because the card is not connected to a wallet. The card is actually the wallet. So the private key is on the card, right? So you actually sign transactions with the card, with the private key on the card. So that's why, basically the card understands its own balance, and it can tell the terminal if it doesn't have enough balance to pay, but its KYC is kind of not a part of a decentralized infrastructure in this regard. We have another use case, because as I said, I also run a centralized custodian in Germany, and we had to fulfill all the German regulations, BaFin, et cetera, where we have a kind of a debit card which is linked to your custody account within the hardware security module. So there, yes, and there obviously, but you don't do the KYC on the card, you do the KYC on the account. Once you open the account, you KYC the user, obviously you can also have transaction monitoring, et cetera. But those are very different setups, right? Again, both have their pros and cons. I think the decentralized setup is something, A, for the crypto community, right? Because that actually reflects the spirit, and B, for the ones who are less fortunate to have an ID. So how do you do a KYC on a person who doesn't have an ID, right? It's pretty hard in the traditional finance. But we do have a solution for a traditional finance as well, yes.
Interesting. Okay.
First of all, congrats of the work that you three are doing. My question is, I know that you three have solutions that it's global, but you focus on your community, and this is very, very powerful. And the question is, even though you are seeing that there is a lot of problems in terms of applying the blockchain technology and everything, what is the thing that you could change, that you see that you could change, and you could, in certain ways, improve your life or make everything goes better? So if I could change this point in the, I don't know, taxes, government, or society, my life, or I could succeed and I could do my work better.
Yeah, this is a good question. Well, I think that the main thing on crypto and on our lives, because everyone that is here is trying to understand a little bit better about crypto, is basically, it's freaking hard. So explain to your mother what is a non-fungible token. My mother doesn't even know what is a fungible thing. So it's pretty hard for them. So it needs to be frictionless. I used to say that right now we are, when you're comparing to like the early days of internet, there was the TCP protocol. So all of the nerds could go to the internet and get some data from somewhere. But the main thing is that without a browser, there's no way to enter on Google and search for a pet shop nearby my house. So this is actually what people want. And we are right now in the TCP protocol. There's no browser yet. So companies like our companies, we've been trying to solve this problem. And this is the problem that I think that will help people, because crypto help people like give access to projects like Impact Market. So this is the kind of thing that we need to do right now, but it needs to be frictionless. It needs to be a person that doesn't even care about what is an address. It needs to be simple. So that's my answer.
So for us, I think I would have to second what Lucas just said, which is simplicity. So and that's why we are trying our best, at Paychant to like make everything more simple, because we are trying to like, bring everything like, private keys, wallet address to like the back scene, at Paychant, and that's why we just, enable, merchants to like, you just bring their, maybe bank account, to the platform and plug it to the platform and start, getting, cryptocurrency payment instead of like sending what different wallet addresses to like, your payers to like, pay, to get payment. So we make it easy whereby, users don't need to, think about, wallet address or private key to like, start accepting the global payment, which is cryptocurrency.
Nice.
Yeah, there are a few things. First, education, critical thinking is definitely huge because people often neglect or reject things just because they either don't think critically or they're just not well educated, including the decision makers, right? So there is a lot of populism in that. Well, crypto is bad or crypto is anonymous or whatever. And it's not. It's a technology, right? It can be or not. So you have to think critically. The second part that I think is huge in regard to like regulation is identity. All the topics around, like for companies who offer financial services, all the topics around KYC and identity are crucial. And it's not even that there is not a standard globally for how do you identify your client. It's also in each individual country, you will have several ways how financial institutions do that. So if you really want to build a product that is global and that should be supported by many countries and many financial institutions, it's a nightmare because you have to follow each and every national regulation, and then you have to support each and every custom process of individual financial institution. Right, so some form of standardization I would definitely support in this regard, and maybe SSI, self-sovereign identity is one of the ways to solve that. But I think we could do better, right? Because like once I'm identified, I should be able to reuse this information in each and every country because that's still the same person, right? So yeah, like that should work better, and that would help the industry a lot, right?
Okay, thank you very much to the panels, starting from Lucas, Moses, and Victor. And this comes to the end of these panels. Thanks everyone for coming, and this is really a wonderful one. Have a nice day.
Thank you.